What is the next season of Ginny and Georgia going to be like? Well, after the original season of the new show dropped on Netflix back in February of last year, it turned out to be one of these sleeper hits for the struggling streaming service. Audiences seemed to enjoy the show, and it was watched by more than 52 million members in the first 28 days of release, making the Netflix top 10 list in almost 90 countries too, and even hitting the #1 spot in a few. So, what's in store for the next season of the show regarding release date, plot, characters, and more? Let's jump in and find out. Recap. The series has a central focus on the cracked and fractured relationship between 30-year-old Georgia and her 15-year-old daughter Ginny, hence the name, of course. Georgia's past is something of a mystery and a pretty dark one at that, and the family, including son Austin, have had to move around constantly over the last 10 years, never staying in one place for too long. The cast of supporting characters are very diverse and representation is all over the place, so there's someone to relate to for everyone who feels that they need that in their entertainment. Georgia is a brash, outgoing, and spontaneous type, while her daughter, Ginny, is more of a straight-laced, button-down kind of person, and as they live their newest life in New England, their personalities and Georgia's past create the usual coming-of-age drama that you'd expect from this kind of show. It's that kind of slice-of-life tale, but with a sinister edge, represented through the duo constantly trying to stay as far as possible from Georgia's shady past. This blend of soap opera feelings and corridor stuff, mixed with the murder mystery edge, has scores of viewers hooked on the series, and plenty of them want to know more about what's next for the show. Release date. So, when exactly are we likely to get a look at this new season of Ginny and Georgia? Well, at the time of making this, there's not an actual release date to speak of. There had been previously some speculation after the showrunner, Deborah J. Fisher, had said that the show was coming out in April of 2021. However, that obviously didn't happen. Fisher did give an official statement that we are so appreciative of the incredible response and love you have all shown Ginny and Georgia. We're especially grateful to Brianne and Tony, who set the highest bar every step of the way. We can't wait to return to Wellsbury for season 2. After that, it was time to get back down to filming the show. Filming commenced over 6 months, starting after announcement of the show being officially renewed, which itself didn't occur until November of 2021. It was a lengthy period of shooting, but we can confirm that the filming has finally wrapped, as Fisher herself posted a video onto Instagram depicting the moment that they wrapped on production. The caption accompanying the post said, "That's a wrap on season 2 of Ginny and Georgia," so then there's no doubt that filming has finished. Of course, now that the filming has completed on the project, it's going to be a simple case of getting the editing and other post-production done. The show isn't like something out of the MCU or a sci-fi that needs tons of CGI, so it's easy to put together, meaning fans of the show shouldn't have to wait much longer for the release. It could even be a late 2022 release, depending on how long post-production takes. Plot. As fans of the show will know, the first season of Ginny and Georgia ended with several loose ends that need to be tied up, or at least explored somewhat. First of all, Ginny and her brother Austin decided to shoot away on a motorbike in the hopes of finding Austin's father. Austin was understandably angry about the revelation that Georgia had hidden letters from his father away from him, and Ginny was extremely shocked to learn from a private eye that Georgia had actually killed her stepfather. As a result, the two have left, while Georgia is still celebrating the re-election of her latest fiancé, Mayor Paul. But things are not going to stay positive for too long, since it's clear that there is still a lot that Georgia has not been confronted by yet. The private investigator who discovered the murder of Georgia's last husband also learned that the previous partner mysteriously vanished as well. All of this, of course, means that there is a massive can of marital and murder-related worms that is begging to burst open. Of course, let's not forget about the other issue, which is the implosion of Ginny's friendship circle after the revelation emerged that she had cheated on her boyfriend Hunter, the twin of her friend Maddie, with the resident bad boy, Marcus. That's never a smart idea and almost always leads to losing something you love. Antonia Gentry, the actress who plays Ginny, has been actively discussing the second season of the show, and in a recent interview with 17, she discussed some aspects of the show. For season 2, the stakes are much higher now, obviously, than we left off with season 1, so I think fans will be in for a lot of wonderful tension, a lot of build up to climax, and a couple of interesting characters will be revealed. There have been a lot of pictures that have emerged of the cast filming, which seem to suggest that there will be a wedding during the second season of the show. Shots of Georgia riding a carriage with Ginny suggest that they will at some point reconcile, if not fully, then maybe for mutual gain. The other aspect of this is that it does make one wonder, with all the secrecy and murder in the past, and even if we're to assume that Georgia is marrying Mayor Paul, then will Georgia be able to get through the wedding before the horrible secrets of her past come out? Trailer. As yet, there's not been any trailer revealed for season 2 of Ginny and Georgia yet. Netflix typically releases trailers for shows roughly about a month before the shows are released, so based on what we know about the current schedule of production, you should probably expect to see a trailer at some point before the end of the year. Cast. Of course, as you'd expect, season 2 will have pretty much everyone from the first season, including Antonia Gentry and Brianne Howey, of course. Of course, that doesn't mean that they'll all be there for the entire season, as Georgia might decide to wipe somebody out before the end. Digital Spy has reported that Aaron Ashmore will be joining the second season of the show as Austin's father, Gil Timmons. The confirmed cast for season 2 are Ginny, Antonia Gentry, Georgia, Brianne Howey, Austin, Diesel Latorraca, Max, Sarah Wasteglass, Abby, Katie Douglas, Nora, Chelsea Clark, Marcus, Felix Mallard, Hunter, Mason Temple, Mayor Paul, Scott Porter, Joe, Raymond Ablack, Ellen, Jennifer Robertson, Cynthia, Sabrina Gerdovich, Zach, Connor Laidman, Nick, Dan Barron, Gabriel Cordova, Alex Malari Jr., and of course, Gil Timmons, played by Aaron Ashmore. So, do with that information whatever you will. With all of these characters returning, we should be able to expect continuations or conclusions for every character's arc, or perhaps even some new arcs or twists for them. There are a lot of questions remaining after all, like what'll happen to Ginny's relationships, which, if any, of the men in her life will she pursue, what will happen when Austin's father's reintroduced, and, of course, one of the most important of all, what will we learn about Georgia? How many people has she killed? What else has she done? And will she ever be held accountable for it? Conclusion. In such a quirky show, which is half CW-esque feelings in corridors, young adult drama, and half dark, edgy murder mystery thriller, a lot of things could happen in the second season. One thing is definitely for sure, the producers and cast seem excited for the second season of Ginny and Georgia, and the only real question that we need to answer is how many episodes season 2 will have. Since Netflix tends to have a uniform format when it comes to its own productions of shows, unless they get unceremoniously canceled, though that only really happens to the trash ones, we can most likely expect that season 2 of Ginny and Georgia will follow the pattern set by the first season and have 10 individual 1-hour-long episodes. So, keep your eyes peeled for more news on this popular show. Are you going to be watching? Who's your favorite character? Make some noise in the comments.